Scott Bloomquist in the 0, only 3-time winner of the Pittsburgher. 18 is Jimmy Bernheisel from the Central PA area. Jack Pennington in car 01 from Winston, Georgia. Robbie Blair in the 111 car from up in the northwestern part of the state. Scott Rhodes from Somerset in the 83 Har. Beverly, West Virginia is Chuck Harper in the 00H. In Kentucky's Jack Boggs in the B4. Out of Ravenswood, West Virginia, the 32 of Scott Hartley. From Imperial, hometown driver Mike Johnson in the 2J. Car number 61, Dan Arm Brewster making his home in Harbor Creek. And Alex Faree in car 4. It's either Alex or Red, one or the other. They're both here this afternoon from Saxonburg. car number 89 in turn number 3 leads this contingent of cars onto the speedway out of Dalton, Georgia. The number 1 of Clint Smith. Clint from Griffin, Georgia. Courtney Clewell from Cambridge, New York, in the number 12. Cambridge, Ohio, in the 12. Keith Berger from Millersburg, Ohio, in car 96F. The blue and white 00 from Knoxville, Tennessee, Freddie Smith. David Scott from the Erie area in car number 3. Jim Lepro from Midway in the number 6 car. Wade Knowles out of Tyrone, Georgia in the red number 66. Ashland, Kentucky, Steve Francis in car 15. Dresden, Ohio's Donnie Moran in the 99. 50-50 tickets on sale in the bleacher area. If you didn't get...
season, nearly $3 million up for grabs.
We're ready to go. Time trialing. The first car on the speedway is Gary Lyle. Gary Lyle on the J&N video number 10 out of Hyde Park, Pennsylvania. It's a C.J. Rayburn chassis. Sporting a Pontiac Grand Prix body style. I guess our guys are not on the front stretch. You're getting an up-close look at just how fast these cars are coming at you off of it. .68, by the way, the lap times are being posted on the scoreboard. First lap time will be under positions 1 and 2. Second lap time under positions 4 and 5 on the infield scoreboard. 21.68 the first lap for Gary Lyle. .163. Second lap, 22.163 for Gary Lyle. In the Fathead Saloon 9C, driving a rocket chassis out of Castle Shannon, this is Doug Crawford. Doug picked up his first win in the late model division here a season ago on the Monster Half Mile. Doug Crawford in car 9C. 22.275, lap 1 for Doug Crawford. Now remember, the track's been sitting for approximately 15 or 20 minutes, so it may pick up some speed here once they get some more rubber laid down. They're slipping and sliding right now. .22.552 is the second lap. Here's a Hav-A-Tampa regular from Jacksonville, Florida, and the Bartow Enterprises 46, Earl Pearson Jr.
Earl was the Rookie of the Year last year in 1997 Hav-A-Tampa action. He has 2 career wins in the series in just a young beginning, and he is a car to look out for. Clements Power Plant out of the folks of Spartanburg, South Carolina. This guy's got a lot of talent.
Earl Pearson Jr., first lap. 20.967. That's the fast lap so far. It's a Warrior chassis. And as Ozzie mentioned, the 97 Hav-A-Tampa Rookie of the Year. .956 was lap 2. 20.956. In the Stout Sack Service 2S out of Charleroi, this is Sammy Style. Sammy Style on the Rocket chassis. First stop here at Pittsburgh in 1998. Sammy has won feature events here in the limited late model and modified divisions, E-Mod divisions. .21.478 the first lap for Sammy Style, 21.478. Right now it's Earl Pearson with the time to beat in car 46, looking for that pole award. .21.131 was lap 2 for Sammy Style. In car RG3, the Bedford Bullet, this is Bob Salthe running a Masters build chassis here this afternoon. Pontiac Grand Prix, Bob Salthe, 1 career win here at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. .21.183 the first lap for Bob Salthe. The Cumberland Petroleum, TMI, Masters build. .21.967. 21.967 was the second lap for Bob Salthe. In the Ace Tire, USA Waste 1Z from Glen Willard, Pennsylvania, Jim Zaron, a rookie driver in the late model division, running a Masters build chassis, Jim Zaron. 22.044. 22.044 the first lap for Jimmy Zaron. .368 the second lap for Jim Zaron. 22.368 in the Franklin Racing Supply. Cars and credit number 4 from Saxonburg, Ed Ferree. Ed has 15 career wins here at Pittsburgh, including one so far this year, running a rocket chassis. .197 the first lap for Ed Ferree. 21.197. Earl Pearson Jr. at 20.956 is still the fast lap. No Lords, 20.802 for Ed Ferree. 20.802. That is the new fast lap so far here this afternoon. 20.802. In the Iron City Beer 55, Bill Nepper out of Clinton, Pennsylvania, also running a rocket chassis. Bill last night finished 5th in our late model feature event. Second year behind the wheel of a late model. 20.810 the first lap for Bill Nepper. 20.810. He and Ed Ferree had quite a battle last night for 4th and 5th. .476. 21.476 was lap number 2. 21.476 for Bill Nepper. From Murphy, North Carolina, in the Youngblood Concrete number 53, this is Ray Cook. Three straight years in the top 10 in points for Ray Cook. 20.697. That is the fastest lap so far today. 20.697. Ray Cook right now 9th place in the Hav-A-Tampa point standings. .559. Lap 2 better yet. 20.559 for Ray Cook. In the 5, Ronnie Johnson, the Miller Brothers Coal 5 out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Second on the all-time Hav-A-Tampa win list with 18 victories, running the Bernheisel laser chassis here in 1998. Was fast qualifier for the Pittsburgher 2 years ago. .295. 21.295. Lap 1 for Chattanooga's Ronnie Johnson. .990 the second lap. 20.990 lap 2 for Ronnie Johnson. In the Rayvest Excavating Rayburn from York, Pennsylvania, Rick Eckerts. Rick Eckerts in that CJ Rayburn chassis. Second last night at Hagerstown. Looking for his first Hav-A-Tampa win. Did have a pole last year. .339, much faster than anyone else so far today. 20.339 for Rick Eckert. 20.542 the second lap, not quite as fast. 20.542. Here's the man that pocketed $10,000 last night at West Virginia Motor Speedway, picking up the Hav-A-Tampa win there. The defending Pittsburgher champion from Fargo, North Dakota, Rick Ackland and the Easy Crushers. C.J. Rayburn chassis, 4 career Hav-A-Tampa wins, 2 wins here at Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgher and the Penn National 100. .713 the first lap for Ackland. 20.713. .781 was lap 2. 20.781. Roger Hayden from Omaha, Nebraska in car 4. Another regular with the Hav-A-Tampa series in 1998. Making his first ever visit here to Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. And Ozzie, that's a long way from home.
It's a long way almost every week for Roger Hayden. He's a rookie contender, one of the 10 contenders for the Rookie of the Year award, trying to make his first feature event this year. .21.852, lap 1 for Roger Hayden.
The Warrior chassis. Picking that left front wheel off the ground. .21.747, lap 2 a little better. 21.747 for Roger Hayden. In the Medical Center, brace service number 5 out of Chester, West Virginia. One of our regular competitors here at Pittsburgh. This is Lou Bradish. Lou Bradish out of Chester in that RLA chassis. Lou has 6 career late model wins here at the Monster Half Mile. .21.328 is the lap 1. 21.328 the first lap for Lou Bradish. .21.282, 21.282 lap 2 for Lou Bradish. Dan Schleeper out of Pewaukee, Wisconsin, leading right now the Hav-A-Tampa Rookie of the Year points. Had a top 10 run last night down at West Virginia Motor Speedway. 4th top 10 run of the year. Not bad for his first season with the series. Did have the pole at Brownstown, as we said. He comes from the Milwaukee area. .20.666, very good first lap for Dan Schleeper in that C.J. Rayburn chassis.
Come on, Bart.
.21.384 lap 2, 21.384. He's 3rd fastest right now. In the Hartman Truck Center 75, the Bart man, Bart Hartman out of Zanesville, Ohio, in the Hartman Truck Center number 75, Masters built Pontiac Grand Prix. Bart just plain whipped everyone's butt here last July in the Penn National 100. .20.181. 20.181. That'll give everyone something to shoot at. The Yiskey Racing Cams fast qualifier. Let's see who it'll be this afternoon. Slow down there. .21.383. 21.383. Hartman definitely slowed down on that last lap. In the boat place, Coors Light 28B from Asheville, New York, Dick Barton. Dick Barton in that Bullet chassis. was second Friday night up at Raceway 7. .192 the first lap for Dick Barton. 21.192. Powered by Ford. .596 lap 2 for Dick Barton. Second lap again was 21.596. In the Johns Towing, Nigel Auto Solutions 1J out of Greensburg, Pennsylvania, Davey Johnson. Davey running a Rayburn chassis this year, and he's got 2 wins already here at Pittsburgh in 1998. Third on the all-time late model win list. .647 the first lap for Davey. 20.647. He has 31 career late model victories here at his hometown track, Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. .617 was the second lap. 20.617. Johnson right now 4th fast. In the Andrews Auto Salvage 42 from Eldred, Pennsylvania, Todd Andrews. Cars have been red for the last several years, not in 98, black and yellow. The Bullet chassis is to be known as the Duke Center Terror, Todd Andrews. He also running a Ford power plant. 20.948 was lap 1 for Todd. 20.948. Phase 2 graphics. Andrews Auto Salvage sponsors of the machine. .585. 20.585. Lap number 2. 4th fastest with that lap. Andrews now into the top 4. In the Concord Automotive, 1C out of Cranberry Township, the all-time leading winner here at Pittsburgh, Lynn Geiger. Driving a rocket car in 98, Lynn Geiger. .100. 21.100 the first lap for Lynn. The Concord Automotive ARL Trucking Kenworth, number 1C. .893 the second lap better. 20.893. He had to go to his backup car here this afternoon. Motor problems in practice. From Millersburg, Ohio in the 72, it's Racing John Mason. Mason has 7 wins here at Pittsburgh. Remember last year's Pittsburgher 100 when he rode the top side of the speedway to the front, only to suffer a flat tire late in the race. .985, 20.985, lap 1 for Racing John Mason. .21.126 was lap 2 for Mason. In the ER Corbin Trucking E1, the Floodwall Flyer out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, Mike Balzano. Mike Balzano in car E1. Running a rocket chassis, 2 career wins here at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Looks pretty good in his first lap. We'll see what its clock reads. .767. That's in the hunt right now. 20.767. Fastest lap is still Bart Hartman at 20.181. 21.320 was lap 2. 21.320 the second lap for Mike Balzano. In the Coors Light, number 8 out of Dormont, Pennsylvania, Dennis Curry. It's an RLA chassis, Dennis Curry, another one of our weekly competitors here at Pittsburgh. Dennis has had just bad luck after bad luck so far in 1998. .129, the first lap for Dennis Curry. .21.502, the second lap for Dennis Curry. From just down the road in Hookstown, Pennsylvania, Mark Moats, running a Viper chassis. Mark Moats in car 48. .22.400 the first lap for Mark Moats. 22.400. .23.252 this. Rodney Coles. Rodney has one career Hav-A-Tampa win. He's won 3 times in his career here at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, running a rocket chassis this year. .21.109. First lap for Rodney Coles. .21.206. Lap 2, 21.206. In the Phil Lucon Rev Fab number 84, last night's feature winner, the West Virginia Rim Rider out of Fairmont, Steve Baker. Steve Baker in the rocket chassis with a drain power plant. .21.270, lap 1 for Steve Baker. .21.130, lap 2, 21.130, a little better for Steve. He's got that left front wheel off the ground already in the Curtis equipment. Number 31 out of Georgetown, Tennessee, Skip Arp. Skip with 2 wins already this year in the Hav-A-Tampa Series. Second right now in the series point standings. 9 career Hav-A-Tampa wins. He was here for the Pittsburgher last year and finished 7th. .20.782 the first lap. 20.782 the first lap for Skip Arp. .20.330 the second lap for Skip Arp. That puts him near the front. number 2 right now. Harp is second behind Bart Hartman. In the 19 car, the Zaron Paints and Wall Covering Masters built chassis from Greencastle, Gary Stoer. Gary Stoer, former winner here at the Penn National 100. 3 wins to his credit at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. 20.536 the first lap. 20.536, a good first lap. Can he do better here? Known as Mr. Smooth. .571, the second lap for Gary Stoer. Making his first start at Pittsburgh in the 111. Robbie Blair from Titusville. Robbie Blair from Titusville in the 111. Gary Stoer right now is the 4th fastest car. It's Hartman, Skip Arp second right now. Rick Eckert third, and Stoer is 4th. .22.143 is lap 1. 22.143 the first lap for Robbie Blair. He was the leading winner last year up at Raceway 7. .22.057, lap 2. The J-Rod's vending 00 out of Beverly, West Virginia. Chuck Harper. Chuck Harper. And that bright 00H to CJ Rayburn chassis had a good run last night, 9th at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Uh-oh. He got the first. .22.140, and then Friday night up at Raceway 7 was second here last Saturday night. Running a rocket chassis. .805 the first lap for Chubb Frank. 21.805. .435. 21.435. On the clock, the only 3-time winner of the Pittsburgh 100, Scott Bloomquist out of Mooresburg, Tennessee. In the 0, the Ford Motorsports Mustang. .530 lap 1 for Scott. The all-time leading winner would have Hav-A-Tampa, 60 career wins. 2-time national champion, 4 wins already this year. And Bloomquist slows down. 21.417 the second lap for Scott, 21.417. Which his first lap was still good enough for 4th fastest, and Chuck Harper lost the rear end. Rear end gears let loose in the 00H. This is Jimmy Bernheisel in car number 18D out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania at BRC Pontiac Grand Prix. 21.247 the first lap, 21.247. .507 the second lap for Jim Bernheisel. In the 83R out of Somerset, PA, this is Scott Rhodes. Scott Rhodes in car 83R, another rocket chassis. .22.563 is lap one for Scott Rhodes. Winston, Georgia, in the one-stop convenience store's Barry Wright chassis, Jack Pennington. 5 career Hav-A-Tampa wins for Jack. Had some problems last night, finished 22nd out at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Does have one pole award this year. 21.192. Pennington was the fast qualifier at Dixie Speedway earlier this year, teaming up with Barry Wright. .21.421. Lap 2 for Jack Pennington. Car number 11 out of Savannah, Georgia, in the Motorola-sponsored machine, Leland Pitz, also a Barry Wright chassis, running for the Hav-A-Tampa Rookie of the Year. He is second right now to Dan Schleeper in the Rookie of the Year point standings. Leland Pitz, Savannah, Georgia, the hometown. 22.329. First lap for Leland Pitz. .22.343. Lap number 2. In the Franklin Racing Supply 4F from Saxonburg, Alex Furry. Alex running one of his dad's late models, the son of Ed Furry, here this afternoon. He's a weekly competitor normally in the limited late model division here at Pittsburgh. High school senior, and he's driven to 2 wins already this season in these Oresco limited late models. 22.821. First lap for Alex Furry. .22.741 was lap number 2. In the Chubby Baird Gate Company NACOM sponsored B4 from Grayson, Kentucky, Jack Boggs. Boggs with a problem in 1 and 2. Now getting back up to speed down the backstretch. The NACOM Fiber Optic Communications CJ Rayburn chassis, 4 career Hav-A-Tampa wins, 5 wins in his career here at Pittsburgh. .22.268. 22.268. 21.776 the second lap for Jack Boggs, 21.776. In the Golf Valve Service 21, this is Billy Moyer Jr. out of Batesville, Arkansas, your defending Hav-A-Tampa champion. 7th in the point standing so far this year. 14 career Hav-A-Tampa wins in that GVS chassis. .293 the first lap for Billy Moyer, 21.293. Second last night to Rick Ackland at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Has a pair of Hav-A-Tampa wins so far this season. 21.865 was lap 2. 21.865 lap 2. The Monday Motorsports Dover Cylinder Head 17 of Dale McDow out of Rossville, Georgia. The Monday Trucking Dover Cylinder Head 17 GRT chassis, 8 Hav-A-Tampa wins. 5th last night at West Virginia Motor Speedway. First ever start at Pittsburgh. .956 the first lap for Dale McDow, 20.956. .927 was lap 2, 20.927. In car number 32, the Hartley Trucking sponsored rocket from Ravenswood, West Virginia, Scott Hartley. Scott Hartley in car 32. .21.376, lap 1 for Scott Hartley. .21.055 lap 2, 21.055. In the Chem Oil Imperial Hoist 2J from Imperial, Pennsylvania, Mike Johnson. Mike running a Masters-built chassis again this season. 4 wins to his in his career in the late model division here at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Mike Johnson. .21.274, 21.274. .778, 21.778 lap 2 for Mike Johnson. In the Jays Auto Wrecking number 61 from Harbor Creek, Pennsylvania, Dan Arm Brewster. Dan Arm Brewster in car 61. Dan also running a rocket chassis. .21.504, lap 1 for Dan Armbruster, 21.504. .21.261, 21.261 lap 2. Here comes Timmy Hitt out of Weston, West Virginia in car 68. Tim Hitt, the rocket chassis, Dream Racing engines. 7 Pittsburgh wins, including the Pittsburgher 100. 21.113 the first lap for Tim Hitt, 21.113. .185, lap 2, 21.185. In the Monday Trucking GRT 6M from Batesville, Arkansas, Wendell Wallace. Wendell has one win this year with the Hav-A-Tampa. That came at Brownstown Speedway. He is fourth in the current point standings, just 40 points out of third. Wendell Wallace. New paint scheme with that black on it. 20.575. 11 career wins with Hav-A-Tampa, one this year. .628 the second lap, not quite as good. 20.575 will stand. That's his first lap time. In the Stoer 3, this is David Scott. David Scott in car 3. He is from Garland, Pennsylvania. It's a rocket chassis. David was here last night trying to get dialed in for this afternoon. .21.281 the first lap for David Scott. .504 was the second lap. 21.504, lap number 2. In the Buds Place 6 from Midway, this is Jim Lepro. Jim, a rookie late model competitor here at Pittsburgh, moving up from the limited late class in 1998, and so far has been the most impressive of our late model rookies. Had another top 10 finish last night. .22.100 the first lap for Jim Lepro. Two's a wow, 22.222. 22.222, second lap for Jim Lepro. In the Dunn-Benson Ford number 1 from Griffin, Georgia, Clint Smith. Clint was 11th last night at West Virginia Motor Speedway. 4 Hav-A-Tampa wins in his career. Running a rocket chassis this year. .21.378 the first lap for Clint Smith. We're down to the last few cars to qualify this afternoon. Bart Hartman still has the time to beat. .21.462, lap number 2 for Clint Smith. Tyrone, Georgia, and the magazine sweepstakes limited 66, Wade Knowles. Wade Knowles. A little loose off the second turn there, had her sideways, going to lose some time on that move. Wade, 2 Hav-A-Tampa wins in his career. .22.111. He was 111 faster than Jim Lepro's 222. 21.837. 21.837. Lap 2 for Wade Knowles. Defending Stars champion, the winner last night at Hagerstown out of Ashland, Kentucky. In the 15, this is Steve Francis. Running a rocket chassis, Steve Francis in car 15, the Action Automart machine. Steve has one win here at Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Came 2 years ago. .014. Track has slowed down over the last probably 15 to 20 cars. No one has really come close to the top 3 times, except maybe Wendell Wallace there, a few cars back. .21.685. Lap 2 for Steve Francis. 21.685. In the GM Performance Parts 99 from Dresden, Ohio, Donnie Moran, former winner of the Pittsburgh 100. And he's done quite well with Hav-A-Tampa the past couple of years. Hasn't won yet this year, but does have 5 career Hav-A-Tampa wins, 11 wins here at Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Oh, 20.389. 20.389. That's a good one. That's 4th fastest right now. Can he better it in lap 2? Came from the back to 3rd last night at West Virginia. 20.170, and that is the time to beat. Donnie Moran looking for that Iski Racing Cam's fast time. Freddie Smith will try and better that now. The Christenberry Trucking 00 from Knoxville, Tennessee. First lap for Freddie. .344. 20.344. So much for the track getting slow. Freddie Smith, former Hav-A-Tampa champion, third in the point standings right now. .644 for the second lap. 20.64 for the second lap for Freddie Smith. Marshall Green is next up. The JMC Custom Homes Warrior chassis out of Dalton, Georgia. Turned the late model world on its ear with that big win at Pennsboro last October. 10th right now in the Hav-A-Tampa point standings. Marshall Green. .20.991. The first lap for Marshall Green. 2 more cars to qualify. .20.702 was second lap. 20.702 the second lap. From Cambridge, Ohio in car 12, this is Courtney Clewell. Courtney Clewell on the Masters built chassis Monte Carlo. .21.441. 21.441. Courtney Clewell will have to get another lap as Keith Berner came out of the pits too quick and tripped the clock. So Berner takes the green flag now in car 96. The Bike Transmissions 96 Masters built chassis from Millersburg, Ohio. was here earlier this year, finishing the top 10 on a Saturday night regular show. .985 was the first lap for Keith Berner. Courtney Clewell will get one more lap in the number 12 car, and then that will conclude our qualifying. .111. Stahl Plumbing on McCaig Street in Swissville. 412-273-1000. 412-273-1000. When they get to the cone, we go, and we're underway. Booty Petsko takes the leading car 00. 57 Stas Shadowski is second, 17M Russ Matika third. A much different racing surface than what these guys are normally accustomed to on a Saturday night. They are skating around the monster half mile. 3 wide for second. It's Petsko out in front. Down the back straightaway, Russ Matika in the Holiday Lounge 17M wills at a second spot with the Stush's Automotive 57 of Stas Shadowski close behind in third. Chuck Kennedy in the A1 red car tried to take third and now second as he got down on that low side while Matika and Sadowski went high off of 4. Chuck Kennedy in the A1 taking over second. It's Matika still third. Here comes Kugel in the 0. Miller in the 16. Sadowski in the 57 running together there. That 5-car pack in turn 3. Behind the ball is the 14G of Scott Gunn. Darren Miller running literally off the race surface down on the inside in the 16 car. Moving into the second spot, Larry Kugel in the 0 follows him into third. Kennedy in the A1 is fourth. Still Booty Petsko out in front. Darren Miller, DJ, running second. Larry Kugel, 0 is third, the A1 of Chuck Kennedy in the 57 of Stas Shadowski are next in line. Kugel now in the 0 car moving into second. Kugel challenging Booty Petsko for the lead. 6 laps down, coming around for lap 7 will be the white flag. Kugel takes over the lead as they head down the back straightaway. Petsko second, Miller runs third, Kennedy still fourth, and Sadowski, Russ Matika, and Scott Gunn. All those 3 cars, all of them right now trying to run that very, very bottom of the racetrack. And look out, Stas Shadowski in the 57 pushes clear up across the track. 1 more lap to go. Coming to the checkered flag for M-Stall Modified Heat number 1. Larry Kugel gets the win. And DJ Miller will finish second with Petsko third, Kennedy fourth, Russ Matika fifth, then Scott Gunn and Stas Shadowski. Laps. M-Stall Modified second heat race. Hav-A-Tampa heats will be coming up next once they get the lineups to the drivers. Logan Donoshik, the Yingling Lager Sabre Equipment 20, takes the early lead. The 10 of Wayne Tessine moves to second. It's John Murgo in the 40, Jimmy Plants in the 63. Tessine taking over the lead on that last lap. Donoshik now second. Murgo third. Plants, Jimmy Plants fourth, and Jim Plants fifth. And the 55 of Tom Duratz. To complete the halfway point. 4 more laps to go this time by. 4 more laps to go. Halfway. Laps remaining. Wayne Tessine out of Austintown, Ohio, who has 1 feature win here this season. Walking away from the field, Logan Donoshik in second in the 20. John Murgo in the 43rd. Jimmy Plant slowing down in car 63. His father Jim going by for 4th. 1 more lap to go. Checkered flag for Wayne Tessine with Donoshik second, John Murgo third, Jim Plants fourth, and Tom Duratz in the 55 car. We'll round out the field here at our second heat race for the M-Stall modified
underway. Hitt in a rocket with a big train power plant, and Arm Brewster in that J-sponsored machine. Chuck Frank in the one-star machine out of Sugar Grove, PA. Chuck Frank may be one of those cars that can rumble to the front early on here. There's Wade Knowles in the red 66. He's out of Tyrone, Georgia, a former 2-time Hav-A-Tampa winner in his long career. Doug Crawford in the 9C inside the final row, and alongside of him is Jim Zaron in the 1Z car. Only the top 3 will transfer to the big show. The balance of the field will have to go off into the Consi action. Hav-A-Tampa Racing Series race director Scott French from Knoxville, Tennessee stands atop the flag stand, and he motions to the field 1 to go as they rumble beneath him. Richie Lewis out of Anderson, South Carolina, laying that white line down at the cone, and Jamie Fair, also of Knoxville, Tennessee, down working in the tech area with these drivers and teams. My name is Ozzie Altman. I'm the voice of the Hav-A-Tampa Series, and it is indeed a pleasurable experience to be here in sunshiny Pennsylvania on this lovely May Sunday afternoon. The cars now bunch up down the back straightaway. Again, the top 3 go to the feature event. The ballots have to go in last chance consies. What a battle this should be up front. Moran and Stoer. Right behind them, it's Marshall Green and McDowell. Hitt and Arm Brewster. They head to the stripe. They'll light him up as the green flag waves. Side by side down the front straightaway. Timmy Hitt takes a look to the inside, but up front in turn 1, it's Donnie Moran showing the way. The battle's for second, and now Hitt slips underneath Marshall Green to move up to third. Hitt immediately goes to work on Gary Stuhler, far back in line. side by side for fourth now. Green gets the advantage over McDowell. Donnie Moran leads Gary Stoer, but Stoer dives to the bottom. Here comes Gary Stoer, and he'll lead lap number 1 as they rumble down the front straightaway. Stoer up front. It's a Masters-built chassis machine, and this guy is no stranger to mashing that right foot down hard and heavy. Stoer leads him by about 4 car lengths out of turn 2 and down the back chute. Moran continues to run in the second position as a car length back to the third place car of Weston, West Virginia's Tim Hitt in the 68. Stoer leads him back to the stripe, leading lap number 2. Car is sliding and skidding out of the turn 4 area, trying to find that traction as they skate around this slippery racetrack here on this sunshiny afternoon. Meanwhile, Stoer continuing to stretch away from Donnie Moran. He's got about a 7 car length advantage now in turn number 3. Another 7 car lengths back to Hitt, and yet another 7 car lengths back to the 4th place car of McDowell. Stoer continues to pace the field as they work down the straight into turn number 1. Single file now as the field works out of turn 2 and heads down the back straightaway. They're getting kind of strung out here in this first heat. Gary Stoer awfully strong here early. Donnie Moran continues to run in second, and Tim Hitt holding what would be the final transfer spot. And they've got a healthy advantage over the 4th and 5th place cars of Dale McDowell and Marshall Green. Stoer, midway in turns 1 and 2, continues to show the way. Stoer looking to make his first visit to a Hav-A-Tampa Racing Series victory lane. He's come awfully close a couple of times at what would be his home track over at Hagerstown, Maryland. A couple of second place finishes there in Hav-A-Tampa action, but he's got about a quarter of a straightaway advantage over Donnie Moran now. And these cars getting strung out up front. Nobody really stepping out of line back in the middle or the back part of the pack. Here is Gary Stoer, and we'll put a clock on him this time as he works down underneath the flag stand. Moran with that strong run had to use a provisional starting spot last night and worked his way up to eventually be posted in 3rd in the finishing order at West Virginia Motor Speedway, the King of the Mountain 100. Stoer punches the clock at 23:05. Pretty good under race conditions in these sunshiny skies. 23.05 seconds, and Stoer continuing to hold about a 10 car length advantage over Donnie Moran. And again, it's about another 10 car lengths back to Tim Hitt, who runs in 3rd, but that would be good enough to get him into the feature, and that's the objective right now. Cross flags indicating halfway this time for Gary Stoer, Donnie Moran, and Tim Hitt. Actually 2 laps to go. These are 10-lap heat races. So lap 8 completed. They're working lap 9 midway down the back straightaway. White flag will unfurl for Greencastle, PA's Gary Stoer in that Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Beneath the flag stand, less than a lap remaining between Stoer and a front row starting position in the big event here today. Stoer works down into turn number 3. Midway in 3 and 4, here comes the number 19, Greencastle, Pennsylvania's Gary Stoer will win the first heat. Stoer across the stripe in 1st, followed by Donnie Moran in 2nd. It'll be Timmy Hitt in 3rd. Dale McDowell in 4th, followed by Marshall Green in 5th. It's Chubb Frank back in 6th. Dan Arm Brewster in 7th. Doug Crawford in 8th. Followed by Jim Zaron in 9th, and that would be Wade Knowles rounding out the field. Scales, after winning the race, nothing's official till they cross the scales. Gary Stoer, Donnie Moran, and Tim Hitt finished 1, 2, 3 at the stripe, and when they went to the scales, they were A-OK. They're in the big show. Greencastle, Pennsylvania's Gary Stoer will start from the pole this afternoon in the 100-lapper. Second heat ready to go. Second heat's ready to go here now. Bart Hartman out of Zanesville, Ohio, sitting on the pole for this second heat race, and he'll be battling to earn an outside front row starting spot in the feature. Hartman in a Masters-built chassis Pontiac Grand Prix. Alongside of him, the hard charger out of Murphy, North Carolina. It's Ray Cook in that orange, white, and blue Ford Mustang GRT chassis, and it's an Ernie Elliott engine. Last night's winner, the Badlands Bandit, Rick Ackland out of Fargo, North Dakota, in the black 12. Last year's Rookie of the Year, Earl Pearson Jr. in the 46, and they're going to go green this time. Here's Hartman and Cook. They light it up as the green flag waves. Steve Baker and Mike Johnson battling back in that third row, and look at the battle up front, 3 wide for the second spot. Pearson scoots underneath Hartman, but Hartman will charge back on the outside, and look who's up front. The Badlands Bandit, Rick Ackland, in that black number 12, has a Rayburn chassis Pontiac Grand Prix, marching out of turn number 4. Hartman in second, Earl Pearson Jr. trying to hold off Ray Cook in third. Steve Baker running back in 5th. It's a side-by-side battle for 6th between Courtney Clewell and Mike Johnson. Scott Rhodes in the 83 car, and Leland Pruitt running shotgun on the field right now. Your leader midway in 3 and 4, Rick Ackland out of Fargo, North Dakota. Picked up his 4th career Hav-A-Tampa win last night, and he's got a 3-car length advantage over Bart Hartman as they work into the turn number 1. Hartman trying to close up in turn number 2. Tracking down that black number 12. It's been a hard thing to do of recent weeks, but of course those 2 drivers up front are really on a roll right now. Here comes Rick Ackland, Bart Hartman, and Earl Pearson Jr. still holding on to that 3rd position. Ackland running way down low in that front straightaway, gets a good bite as he thunders out of turn number 2. It's down to about a 2-car length advantage between Ackland and the 2nd place car of Bart Hartman. Another 8-car lengths back to the 3rd place machine of Earl Pearson. The battle is for 4th. Now that's not good enough to transfer, but it could improve their starting position for the consolation race. Baker going at it with Ray Cook. Ackland clicking around in the 23.43 second lap, and Bart Hartman running right there with him. There's that battle for 4th. Ray Cook and Baker beating and banging a little bit, and Mac Johnson will come to the party as those 3 cars work down the back straightaway. Again, the leader out of turn number 4. Rick Ackland and Bart Hartman see the cross flags halfway this time by. 5 laps complete and 5 to go in the second heat of the night. There's Mike Johnson battling alongside Ray Cook. Again, that is the battle for the 5th position. Johnson with the advantage in turn 1. Leaders now enter turn number 3. Again, the front 3 cars have broken away from the balance of the field. Ackland again comes out of turn number 4. He'll cross beneath the flag stand on lap 6 with a 4-car length advantage over the Bart man. Hartman still trying to track him down, running in his tire tracks in turns 1 and 2. Cuts it down to about 2-car lengths now as Hartman's car slips a little bit up the banking in turn 2. So Ackland getting a very good bite and holds on to the advantage over Hartman. Pearson continues to run in 3rd. So it's a Rayburn chassis, a Masters Belt chassis, and a Warrior chassis running 1, 2, 3 in this second heat race. Brad Malkett doing the tweaking and tuning on the power plant that's provided for Rick Ackland. Bart Hartman running a bar racing engine tooled by his brother Brett, and Hartman's closed in on Ackland again. Battle shaping up for the lead out of turn number 4. Ackland comes to the stripe with 2 laps to go. Hartman trying to slip up, use a little higher groove. Let's see if he can track him down in turns 1 and 2. Earl Pearson Jr. continuing to run a solid 3rd, and they're still clicking off laps in the mid-23 second range as they work down the back straightaway. 2-car length advantage for the Badlands Bandit. Ackland $10,000 richer last night. His 4th career Hav-A-Tampa win. Can he hold off Hartman? White flags waving, and Hartman is there. A car length separate the front 2 cars. Hartman underneath Ackland for the lead in turn 2. Ackland shuts the door. Hartman tries to swing wide as they work into turn number 3. This one is not over yet. Good friends, but they're racing for big money now. There's Bart Hartman, swings it inside the wall. Hartman and Ackland, it'll be Ackland by a 1/2 car length at the stripe. Rick Ackland with the victory. Hartman in 2nd. Earl Pearson Jr. in 3rd. It'll be Steve Baker in 4th. Mike Johnson in 5th. Ray Cook in 6th. Rhodes will come home in 7th. Followed by Clewell in 8th, and Leland Pruitt rounding out the field. This 3rd heat race, he's on the inside of Wendell Wallace, and they are both piloting GRT house cars. Both of them are Chevrolet Monte Carlos. Arp is running a custom power plant, and Wallace with a Russell Baker racing engine. The Fletwall Flyer, Mike Balzano in that white and red trim E1 out of Parkersburg, West Virginia, alongside the Chattanooga Flash, Ronnie Johnson in his multicolored number 5. Of course, Ronnie making the move to a Bernheisel race car this year, a Laser 3 chassis provided by Pennsylvania's Jim Bernheisel, and it's a Pontiac Grand Prix with a Clements power plant. Salthe on the inside of that 3rd row alongside of David Scott. Then it'll be Dennis Curry and Keith Berner And Mark Moats will start shotgun on the field. Kind of quasi-teammates there as Arp and Wallace are running GRT house cars. We'll see what effect that has when they light them up. They're under the green flag now. Underway here, Balzano getting into it with Rodney Johnson. Balzano with the better of that advantage as he darts underneath Johnson for third. Johnson will tuck in behind him as Skip Arp leads away. Salthe gives Johnson a little wake-up call out of turn number 2, and Johnson pulls in front. Salthe right there breathing down his neck. Here comes your leader, Skip Arp, followed by Wendell Wallace with Mike Balzano trimming that inside berm out of turn 4. Salthe scoops underneath Rodney Johnson to move up into 4th. Followed by Wallace and Balzano. They hold the top 3 spots. Several cars trying to rumble back up there and catch up to him. That's Salthe and Johnson in 4th and 5th. And they would much prefer to transfer through heat race action as opposed to going in the consies. Skip Arp brings him out of turn 4. He leads the field at lap 2. About a 7-car length advantage for Arp down in turns 1 and 2. Now Wallace closes it up. Arp strong out of the turn 2 exit. Wallace's car braking sideways just ever so slightly, and that allows Mike Balzano to close up on him in turn 3. Salthe coming to the party. Bob Salthe running back in 4th, trying to track down the leaders. Arp back to the stripe with 3 laps complete. Midway down the back straightaway, Skip Arp with a 9-car length advantage over Wendell Wallace. So about a 3 or 4 car lengths behind Wallace to the 3rd place car, Balzano, and another pair of car lengths back to Bob Salthe. Salthe continuing to run in 4th. Real heated battle going on for 5th right now. Keith Berner and Rodney Johnson mixing it up down at turns 1 and 2. Berner shoots to the inside of Johnson. Johnson holds him off at a turn number 2. Leaders over in turn 4. Here comes Skip Arp. Racing back to the flag stand. Cross flags indicating halfway this time. Wallace continuing to hold on to 2nd. Balzano tries to track him down. Skip Arp moving away from the balance of the field now as he works out of turn 4. He's got it up to about a 12-car length advantage. Arp beneath the flag stand. 1 car off the pace. Dennis Curry slows down the back straightaway and looks like he's headed to the pit entrance. So Curry brings that blue number 8 down pit road. Meanwhile, the leaders rumble by on the back straightaway. Skip Arp into turn number 3. Again, it's Wallace in 2nd and Balzano running 3rd. Arp racing back to the stripe. Georgetown, Tennessee, Skip Arp, sponsored by Curtis Equipment Sales, leading the way. 2 laps to go in this 3rd heat race of the afternoon. Wallace continues to hold on to 2nd. It's Balzano in 3rd. This time out of turn number 4, the black number 31 of Skip Arp sees the white flag unfurl with a lap to go. Wallace still holds 2nd, but Balzano closing down the front straightaway. Both of those cars are in a transfer position, but obviously Balzano would like to improve his starting spot in the feature event. Arp with less than a half a lap remaining. Again, Wallace and Balzano running back in 2nd and 3rd. Out of turn 4, Georgetown, Tennessee, Skip Arp will win heat race number 3. It'll be Wendell Wallace holding off the late race charge of Mike Balzano. Balzano in 3rd. Bob Salthe finishes in 4th, followed by Rodney Johnson in 5th. Keith Berner in 6th. David Scott comes across the stripe in 7th. And it'll be Mark Moats in 8th. 2 of them up front. York, Pennsylvania's Rick Eckert, not only a regular campaigner in dirt late model action, but also found frequently on the ARCA circuit, and he's driving that orange number 24 that's owned and sponsored by our good friend Ray Vest at Ray Vest Excavating. Duke Center, Pennsylvania's Todd Andrews, sporting new colors this year in his bullet chassis Ford Mustang. The black and goldish number 42 starts outside of Eckert in the front row. Back in row number 2, it'll be Ed Faree out of Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, alongside the defending Stars champion, Ashland, Kentucky's Steve Francis. Steve Francis in another one of those rocket chassis machines. It's a Pontiac Grand Prix, the action-sponsored ride of Steve Francis. Inside of row number 3, it's Dick Barton in the 28 car, Lou Bradich on the outside in the 5B machine. Inside the 4th row, it'll be Gary Lyle lining up alongside of Rob Blair and Alex Faree, scheduled to start shotgun here in this heat race. Flag waves, and a pair of Pennsylvania drivers battling down in turn number 1. Rick Eckert has the advantage. Look at Steve Francis as he scoots underneath Faree to move up to 3rd. Todd Andrews trying to tuck right up underneath. Eckert, no, he'll blow by on the inside. Eckert slams the door. So the battle is up front. Rick Eckert leads the charge, but Todd Andrews down low will lead lap number 1. Duke Center, Pennsylvania's Todd Andrews puts the blue oval up front. That Ford Mustang works its way into the lead as he exits turn 2. The battle between Francis and Faree continues to rage on in turn 2. They're running side by side. They touch slightly. Faree out of shape, now falls back in line behind Francis. Barton and several other cars mixing it up behind the leaders. Here comes Todd Andrews leading Rick Eckert and Steve Francis to the stripe. Again closing up on Francis. That would be a battle for the final transfer position. But in turn 3, the leader is Todd Andrews. A couple of cars really getting at it back in the back of the field. They're trying to work their way to the front. Andrews back to the stripe with 3 laps complete. Eckert in 2nd. Francis now continuing to feel the heat from Ed Faree. Todd Andrews leads the march as Rick Eckert's car slipped a little bit in the turn 4 area, and that allowed Andrews to slip away now and also gives Steve Francis a little room to close up on it. So it's Andrews, Eckert, and Steve Francis with Ed Faree continuing to run back and forth. Andrews really bends that Mustang around. Cross flags halfway this time with 5 laps complete and 5 to go. Worked it way down low out of turn 4 that time. He's kind of using the same line out of turn 2 as now he works down the back straightaway by his lonesome. Half a straightaway advantage over Rick Eckert. So it's Andrews, Eckert, and Francis up front. Faree is still in the party though, as he'll try to close up on Francis in what would be a battle for that 3rd and final transfer spot. Out of turn 4, they head down the front chute. Nothing changing here as they're working lap number 7. Andrews works midway in turns 3 and 4 and heads back down the front chute. The Ford Mustang of Todd Andrews continuing to show the way with 7 laps complete. Ed Faree trying to close up once again on Steve Francis, and I believe he's got something for him this time. Faree to the inside of Francis in turn 2. This is the battle of Faree. Gets into Francis, and he'll spin in turn number 2. Caution flag will wave as Ed Faree and Steve Francis were battling for position. Todd Andrews lights him up. Rick Eckert looks for an opening down low, and there goes Steve Francis searching for daylight. Eckert beneath Andrews in 1, but Andrews awfully strong. So Todd Andrews will lead him. Lou Bradich working that high groove again. He'll swing to the outside of several cars. He'll work on Barton for the 4th position. Here comes Andrews, Eckert, and Francis as they head to the stripe with 2 laps to go. And Bradich sticks it way up there in the high side, again in turns 1 and 2. Again, he'll try to work around Barton's machine as they work down the back straightaway. Here comes Todd Andrews. He will see the white flag wave with 1 lap to go. Andrews, Eckert, and Francis closes up on Eckert. Barton holds the 4th spot. Bradich back in 5th. It's Rob Blair running in 6th, but the battle right now is for 2nd. Andrews is broken away from Eckert and Francis. We'll see if Steve Francis can try to track Eckert down. Less than half a lap to go. Here comes Todd Andrews out of turn number 4. Duke Center, Pennsylvania's Todd Andrews will take the win. It'll be Rick Eckert in 2nd, Steve Francis in 3rd, followed by Barton, Bradich, and too close to call. We'll await the official word from the scorers. So the man sporting a new color scheme today, a former 4-time dirt track world champion, and he was the 1996 Hav-A-Tampa Dirt Racing Series national champion, originally from Kings Mountain, North Carolina, now residing in Knoxville, Tennessee, the 00 of Freddie Smith, the Southern gentleman. Freddie Smith in a GRT chassis Chevrolet Monte Carlo, and on the outside of row number 1, a man who stayed away for more than a year before returning 2 consecutive weeks at Victory Lane here at PPMS, Greensburg, PA's Davey Johnson in the 1J machine. Inside of row number 2, it's Bill Nepper alongside the 32 car of Ravenswood, West Virginia's Scott Hartley. Back in row 3, former Winston Cup driver and 6-time career Hav-A-Tampa winner out of Winston, Georgia, the red 01 of Jack Pennington. Pennington alongside the defending national champion of dirt late model racing, Billy Moyer in that 21 car. Roger Hayden out of Omaha, Nebraska on the inside of the final row alongside a racing John Mason. Freddie Smith ready to light it up with Davey Johnson. They hit the stripe. The green flag waves. Pennington splits Nepper as Nepper's car slow to fire, and Pennington and Hartley go to work there. Nepper's car now comes to life, but Pennington battling with Scott Hartley for 3rd. Meanwhile, Freddie Smith slips away by about 3 car lengths into turn number 3. So your leader is the Southern gentleman, Freddie Smith, with that new blue and white color scheme rumbling down the front chute. Freddie Smith leads, and Jack Pennington up to 2nd. Pennington in 2nd, Davey Johnson running in 3rd. 1 car trying to rumble from the back is racing John Mason out of Millersburg, Ohio, way up in the tater patch in turn 2. He'll climb the ladder and swing to the outside of Scott Hartley as they battle for 4th down the back chute. Mason picks up the 4th position. Here comes Freddie Smith showing the way, but Jack Pennington trying to close him down the front chute. Davey Johnson continues to run in 3rd. Mason now challenges Hartley on the outside for that 4th spot, and he'll secure it this time in turn 2. Hartley back in 5th, and there's Billy Moyer beating the drum on his rear deck lid, and Moyer will scoot by Hartley down the back chute. Freddie Smith leads the way back to the stripe. 3 laps now complete. John Mason continuing to work the high groove as he battles with Billy Moyer out of turn 2. That's for the 4th position, but not good enough to transfer. You got to be in the top 3. That's why Freddie Smith shows the way. Jack Pennington running right there in 2nd with Davey J in 3rd. Mason and Moyer still doing the 2-car tango out of turn number 2 as they continue to go side by side, swapping the position. Up front, it's Freddie Smith. Leads the field out of turn 4. Cross flags displaying halfway this time, and Jack Pennington is on the move. Pennington tries to close down a pair of cagey veterans over in turn number 2. 2 car lengths separate the front 2 cars. Freddie Smith, the 00, down the back chute. Mason-Moyer battle continues for 4th, but that's not good enough to transfer for those guys. Here comes Freddie Smith with Jack Pennington shutting it down to about a car length advantage. 23.68 seconds on your leader, Freddie Smith, as he works in this heat race action. Freddie Smith, over 760 career wins. 15 times on the Hav-A-Tampa Series, Smith has found victory lane, and Pennington trying to close him down again. Davey Johnson still running a solid 3rd in his Chevrolet Monte Carlo. Moyer now in 4th as he and Mason have ended their feud. Mason's fallen back to 5th. Freddie Smith down low in turn number 3. He'll swing her out of turn 4. The blue and white 00 heads back to the stripe. He's opened it back up to about a 5-car length advantage over Jack Pennington with 2 laps to go. The Southern gentleman brings that Chevrolet Monte Carlo down the front chute as a white flag waves, indicating one more time around Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway in this 5th heat race of the afternoon. Freddie Smith, Jack Pennington, and Davey Johnson on the move. And it looks like they're going to make their way to the big show here this afternoon. Freddie Smith has the advantage over Pennington. He'll take the checkered flag and win heat race number 5. Jack Pennington comes across the stripe in 2nd. Davey Johnson in 3rd. It's Billy Moyer in 4th. John Mason across the stripe in 5th. West Virginia's Scott Hartley in 6th. Followed by Bill Nepper in 7th. And Omaha, Nebraska's Roger Hayden rounds out the finishing order. So fully strong cars right up front, and they're ready to mix it up and do battle here. Scott Bloomquist in that Ford Mustang, the current points leader. 4 Hav-A-Tampa wins this year, a Jack Cornett power plant underneath the hood. He is in a Warrior chassis this afternoon. Bloomquist out of Mooresburg, Tennessee, on the pole. Outside of Bloomquist, the man they call the sleeper. He's not a sleeper any longer. Dan Sleeper out of the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, the current leader in the Rookie of the Year chase, and he's already scored 4 top 10 runs this year. He's one tough customer. So it's Bloomquist on the inside of row 1 and Dan Sleeper in that S9 on the outside. Inside of row number 2, it will be Lynn Geiger in the 1C machine, the Cochran-sponsored ride. Outside of him, now residing in Fort Myers, Florida, it's Rodney Coles in the 5-car. Ford Mustang with a rocket chassis for Rodney Coles. Jim Bernheisel in that orange 18 car. Of course, Jim, the manufacturer of Bernheisel race cars over in Lebanon, Pennsylvania, and he'll line up inside of row 3 alongside the 1993 Hav-A-Tampa champion, Clint Smith, Combs' teammate, who's right behind his teammate. Then we go to Mike Johnson out of Imperial in the 2J car, and Black Jack Boggs out of Grayson, Kentucky in the B4. Beverly, West Virginia's Chuck Harper starts shotgun. Bloomquist and Sleeper across the stripe. Green flag will wave, and we're underway. And diving as they'll work through turns 1 and 2, and Jack Boggs wastes no time, takes them 3 wide in turn 2. Boggs is on the move. Boggs trying to avenge his loss of a race last night due to a weight problem at the scales. Bloomquist leads the way. Sleeper in 2nd. The battle's for 3rd. Geiger and Boggs has the spot as they cross the stripe. Teammates Clint Smith and Rodney Coles running side by side for 5th, directly behind Lynn Geiger. Scott Bloomquist opens up about a 6-car length advantage over Dan Sleeper, who runs 2nd, and Jack Boggs in 3rd. There is Clint Smith working on the outside of Lynn Geiger for the 4th position. Bloomquist back to the stripe with 2 laps complete. Scott Bloomquist in that Ford Mustang continues to lead as Clint Smith uses the outside groove to motor around Lynn Geiger, and that'll move him up to 4th. Now he'll try to track down Black Jack Boggs and Dan Sleeper. It's Bloomquist, Sleeper, and Boggs, the front 3 cars as they head down the front chute. Bloomquist clicking off laps in the range of 23.36 seconds. So Bloomquist running some of the fastest laps we've seen under racing conditions so far in these heat races today. And he has opened up an awfully large lead over Dan Sleeper, and Sleeper has company on his back door as Jack Boggs is coming to the front. Boggs now uses the high side. He'll try to work around Sleeper in turn number 2. Here's the battle for 2nd. Sleeper down low, stays in the gas. Boggs raises a rooster tail of dust on the outside. Sleeper will try to shut the door, but Boggs will squeeze in on the outside. Boggs and Sleeper side by side as the leader crosses the stripe. 5 laps complete. Sleeper trying to hold on to 2nd. He'll do so by a nose as they work beneath the flag stand. But Boggs is there on the outside. He'll swing to the outside of Sleeper in turn number 2. Again, they say door handle to door handle out of turn turn 2. Drag racing down the back straightaway, and Jack Boggs noses in front for second. Your leader exits turn 4. Scott Bloomquist clicks off lap number 6. Jack Boggs, who has now moved up to second, with Dan Sleeper running in third. Black and white Ford Mustang of Mooresburg, Tennessee. Scott Bloomquist flashes beneath the flag stand one more time with just 3 laps remaining in this final heat race of the afternoon. Jack Boggs holding on to second. Dan Sleeper in third. Clint Smith back in fourth. Rodney Coles has moved around Lynn Geiger to pick up the 5th spot. Geiger back in 6th, followed by Mike Johnson in 7th, Chuck Harper in 8th, and then it's Jim Bernheisel. 2 laps to go for Scott Bloomquist. That's Sammy Styles in the 2 car. So 2s are wild here, and Styles still working behind Geiger down the front straightaway. Bloomquist, insurmountable lead now as he works into turn number 3. Boggs is just midway down the back chute. Bloomquist heads down the front chute as the white flag waves with a lap to go. Boggs out of turn 4. Securely in second, and Dan Sleeper holding on to third. Clint Smith in 4th, Rodney Coles 5th, Geiger in 6th, Styles in 7th, is Chuck Harper 8th, and Bernheisel running at the back of the pack. Scott Bloomquist out of turn 4 sees the checkered flag wave. He'll win the final heat race of the afternoon. Bloomquist will win this final heat. Jack Boggs coming home in second as Dan Sleeper in third. Clint Smith in 4th. It'll be Rodney Coles in 5th. Lynn Geiger in 6th. Sammy Styles in 7th, followed by Chuck Harper in 8th. And Jim Bernheisel rounds out the official finishing order in the final heat race of the afternoon. So there you have it, the Tustins. And they will not hold anything back here, I promise you. Now Mason pulls up in front of Berner to his right for starting position, the outside of row number 3, alongside of Ronnie Johnson. McDowell and Salthe in row number 1. It's Moyer and Marshall Green in row number 2. The number 5 of Ronnie Johnson and 72 of John Mason back in row 3. We're just about set to go. The top 2 will transfer to the big show. They begin to creep slowly out of turn 4 towards the white stripe. They're just about to light them up. They're in the gas. Green flag waves. Marshall Green trying to dig away to the middle of Billy Moyer and Bob Salthe. McDowell holds his spot. Salthe works to the outside. Bob Salthe trying to nose in front. He'll take a slight advantage out of turn 2 and down the back chute. So Bob Salthe moves up front. Dan Arm Brewster almost into the concrete midway down the back straightaway. They settle down now. Salthe leads McDowell and Moyer out of turn 4. John Mason up to the 4th spot. It's Marshall Green in 5th, followed by Ronnie Johnson in 6th. Berner and Chuck Frank battling for the 7th spot. Down the back straightaway, Bob Salthe shows the way. Salthe, McDowell, and Moyer sweep out of turn number 4 as they head back to the stripe. In fact, Salthe and McDowell trying to pull away from Billy Moyer now, midway in turns 1 and 2. McDowell tries to latch onto the rear deck lid of Salthe as they work out of turn 2 and down the back chute. Working lap number 3 of this 12-lap last chance consolation event. Dale McDowell looking for daylight on the inside of Bob Salthe out of turn 4. The battle for the lead is on. McDowell, it's Salthe by half a car length as they work beneath the flag stand. McDowell tried to pinch it down low. The car broke out of shape. He'll fall back in line. Billy Moyer continues to run in 3rd. Ronnie Johnson scoots to 4th. John Mason in 5th. Marshall Green back in 6th. Back up front, the top 2 will transfer. 1 car off the pace. Scott Hartley in that blue 32 slows down the back straightaway, and he'll make that hard left-hand turn down the pit road. Scott Hartley apparently done for the afternoon here at Pittsburgh. Leaders out of turn 2, head down the back chute. 4 car length advantage for Bob Salthe with Dale McDowell running in 2nd, Billy Moyer in 3rd. Out of turn 4, Salthe and McDowell close down to the start-finish line. 5 laps complete with 7 to go. John Mason battling with Marshall Green back there for the 5th position. They've got company as Chuck Frank rides right in their tire tracks out of turn number 2. Again, leaders working 3 and 4. Bob Salthe, Dale McDowell, and Billy Moyer rumbling out of turn 4 and head down the front chute. Ronnie Johnson trying to track him down. 3-car battle for the position behind him. Chuck Frank right up underneath John Mason at the flag stand. Frank dives to the inside, the one-star car, looking for room down to the bottom of turn number 2. We turn our attention back to the leaders over in turn number 4. Salthe continuing to show the way. Here he comes to the flag stand with 7 laps complete. So it's Salthe and McDowell continuing to march around Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania's Motor Speedway. 1-2 car length advantage now for your leader Salthe as they work back into turn number 3. Billy Moyer running a distant third, about 6-7 car lengths back. McDowell again searching for daylight down bottom. Battle for the lead at the stripe. Salthe holds him off by a car length. They continue that battle in turn 2. McDowell is there. Salthe stays strong on the outside. McDowell falls back in his tracks down the back chute. Really heating up front. And although those front 2 starting or finishing positions will gain you a transfer, you guys want to start as close to the front as they can. Salthe taking advantage of McDowell's slip over in turn 4 last time by, stretches it back out to about 3 car lengths. Again, McDowell will have to try to track him down. Billy Moyer, no 1 car off the pace. Rodney Johnson got way up the banking in turn 2, and that allowed Marshall Green to slip by him to take up the 4th position. And he's in jeopardy of losing another spot as Chubb Frank is tracking him down in turn 4. The leaders are in turn 2. Once again, 3 car length advantage from Bob Salthe down the back straightaway. Working lap number 11, less than 2 laps remain now as the leaders start to close in on the back markers. Here comes Bob Salthe and Dale McDowell strong on the bottom as the white flag will wave with a lap to go. A dead heat at the stripe. McDowell's on the bottom this time. He's underneath Salthe in turn number 2. McDowell stays in the throttle. Out of turn 2, they'll drag race down the back chute. McDowell noses in front. The blue 17M of Rossville, Georgia's Dale McDowell puts the Monday Motorsports ride to the front of the pack. McDowell leads Salthe out of turn 4. Dale McDowell will win the first consolation race of the afternoon. It'll be Bob Salthe across the stripe in 2nd, Billy Moyer in 3rd, followed by Marshall Green in 4th, and Ronnie Johnson will round out the top 5. Leaders will once again head to the scales as the balance of the finishing order crosses beneath the flag stand now, making it ease. Back row, it'll be Chuck Harper lining up alongside of Leland Pruitt. And I believe we got a couple of cars scratched from this consolation event. I do see Jim Lepro out there. That black 2J, and they're going to try to get bad with the situation, but Baker was the winner here last night. AFCO sponsoring his ride as well, and they light him up. Clint Smith dives immediately to the inside. That may cost him as Mike Johnson works hard up high in turn 1 and 2, and Johnson will get the advantage pulling go up to 3rd. Wild scramble. Smith, Bradish, and Rodney Coles. Rhodes will get into it now. Rhodes gets into the back of Coles momentarily. Coles breaks loose, but they settle down. Back up front, it's Barton and Baker as they rumble out of turn number 4. Battle for the lead. Baker and Barton touch slightly in turn number 1. Baker tried to bend it down to the inside. It will cost him now as Mike Johnson and Clint Smith gather him up out of turn 2. He holds his spot momentarily. Look at Scott Rhodes riding the rim down the back straightaway. Awfully close to the concrete. Clint Smith slows in turn number 3. Caution flag will wave. Spots into the big show. They will light them up at the cone. Barton's in the gas, the green flag's in the air. Barton, Baker, and Mike Johnson. Look at Rodney Coles working against the wall, trying to work around Luke Bradish. Now he's caught up behind Scott Rhodes. Coles knows that time is limited here. He'll try to run to the front, has to get out of the gas as he and Bradish get together midway down the back straightaway, and there is Scott Rhodes. He's got a strong run going on the outside. He'll battle with Mike Johnson for the 3rd position and close up on Steve Baker down beneath the flag stand. There is Rhodes in turn 1, trying to step way up the banking on the outside of Mike Johnson. Luke Bradish goes way up the ladder in turn 2, and they seem to have that groove working now that they've watered the track over in the high side, in the upper grooves around Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway. Barton leads the way. They'll head to the stripe, completing lap number 3. Mike Johnson up to 2nd. Rhodes and Baker will battle in a wild scramble. A couple of cars hooked together, and now Ray Cook is released. He was caught up with the Robbie Blair car and now snapped away from it. They were hung up momentarily as they headed down into turn number 1. But up front, that's where it's going on. Barton and Baker battle beneath the flag stand. Baker may have had him by a nose as they work underneath the stripe. But nothing's going to happen until the checkered flag falls. So they're working lap 5 now, and Steve Baker motoring out to about a 6 car length advantage. Barton will chop it down to about 3 car lengths in turns 3 and 4. Barton right there, Scott Rhodes right there, car skating out of turn 4, trying to grab some traction and move to the front. Ed Ferree and Rodney Coles going at it. Beating and banging, sheet metal getting dinged up around this big speedway. And there's the battle for second as the caution waves. Leland Pruitt has spun on the front straightaway, and Alex Ferree. They're just about ready to light him up again. 5 laps in the book with 7 to go. Mike Johnson, a heads-up move. He waited till he cleared the cone, it apparently looked like, and he made it work down in the turn number 1. Picked up the spot from Dick Barton. 3 wide as Scott Rhodes pulls it off out of turn 2, and Rhodes is up the way to the front. Here he'll battle with Bradish for the 3rd position. The leaders are Baker and Barton, and look down low at Ferree's coming to the party. Mike Johnson runs in second behind Steve Baker, but they have got company. Ed Ferree and Scott Rose go at it door handle to door handle down the back straightaway. Both of those cars trying to advance at least one more position to get in the big show. Ferree takes 3rd out of turn number 4 as he scoots beneath Rose. Beneath the flag stand, it's Baker, Mike Johnson, Ed Ferree, Scott Rose, Luke Bradish still running back in 5th. Dick Barton's car going backwards now as we are nearing the halfway point, and Barton is off the pace out of turn 2. Barton in the black 28 slows, and apparently he'll have to take her down pit road. Here is Steve Baker down the front straightaway with 8 laps complete. Wild scramble 3 wide beneath the flag stand. Alex Ferree, Lynn Geiger, Ray Cook as they all mix it up behind the Robbie Blair machine. Leaders in turn number 3 again. Baker in that number 84 car leads Mike Johnson, but believe you me, Saxonburg, Pennsylvania's Ed Ferree is on a charge to the front. He wants to get into this big show. So it's Baker, Mike Johnson, and Ed Ferree working out of turn number 2. That looks to be where it might be settled amongst those cars unless Scott Rhodes and Lou Bradish can work their way to the front in a hurry. Again, Baker leads him out of turn 4. He'll click off lap number 10 with 2 laps to go. Ferree has less than 2 laps to get the job done. He closes up on Mike Johnson down the back straightaway. This could be the move. Scott Rhodes is not out of it yet. He'll close up in that party. Ferree makes it happen on the bottom. Ed Ferree battles Mike Johnson. White flag waves with a lap to go. Ferree moves to 2nd. Mike Johnson still there. He'll try to follow back into the tire tracks of Saxonburg, Pennsylvania's Ed Ferree. Ferree in that Franklin Racing sponsored machine. Trouble. Alex Ferree spins, and one car narrowly avoids it. They'll race to the checkered flag. They will race to the checkers. Here comes Steve Baker. Ed Ferree will cross the stripe in 2nd. So it is Steve Baker and Ed Ferree who race to the stripe. Under Hav-A-Tampa Dirt Racing Series rules, once the white